The first weekend, it was like we didn't know really how to plan it out because we didn't know, okay, how many people was going to want our food. But quickly we realized, okay, hey, we got to like bring in more, bring in more. But then, yeah, that just really caught us off guard like the first week because we sold it really quick, like an hour or two. Definitely missed out a bit on like the first grand opening weekend.
Welcome to Side Hustle Hero, the show that is laser focused to inspire you to take action to start or to scale your side hustle income streams. I'm your host, Joan Posivy, author of The Way Success Works. How's that for a problem to have? Selling out within the first couple of hours your business is open. Even though the crew at Poncho's Tacos have ramped up production many times, they still sell out. They have a booth at the Richmond Night Market in Richmond, BC, Canada. The market's only open during the evening on weekends, and it's seasonal, running for just over 5 months each year. But expected attendance at this year's market is more than 1 million visitors. The main draw is the over 110 food booths and food trucks offering more than 600 different food items. That's a lot of competition that the new kids on the block, Poncho's Tacos, are up against. This group of 5 18-year-olds have done so many things right, it's a case study in how to successfully launch a venture. From how they tested their product and pricing prior to the market, to the 2 key decisions they made and acted on that enabled them to stand out from the crowd, how they gained free media exposure, and more. Whether you're thinking of setting up a seasonal booth somewhere or you're interested in an entirely different hustle, be prepared to capture ideas that pop into mind when hearing their story to grow your venture. And be sure to check out the 5 success takeaways that I share at the end, which include an action that is very simple, but that will have a major impact on the progress that you make from today on with your side hustle. If you're enjoying what you're hearing in this podcast, I'd be so grateful if you would take a moment and leave a 5-star review at the platform where you're listening, to let others know that there's valuable content here to help them start or grow their side hustle. Thank you so much. Now here is my conversation with entrepreneurs who are doing a lot of things right, 3 of the founders of Poncho's Tacos. Well, hey guys, welcome. Please go ahead and introduce yourselves and tell us your role in Poncho's Tacos.
I'm Matthew Berda, and then I'm basically the main cook for Poncho's. But like, hey, we're all cooks, so yeah.
But you're like the head chef.
Yeah, basically.
All right.
So, yeah.
I'm Mikito May. I'm also, part owner. Call myself the second string chef. I take care of like the day-to-day like financials. I can also, chef it up when Matt doesn't want to get on the grill.
All right, fair enough.
I'm Kenito Garrido. I'm also co-owner, co-founder, and I'm kind of like the social media guy for the Instagram and sometimes the TikTok.
Great. All right, now there's a couple more in the group.
Yeah.
Danny and Henry. Henry's our accountant overseas in Taiwan. I think he's heading back today. And then Danny's kind of just does everything. Jack of all trades.
Nice. It's good to have one of those on the team.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, have any of you owned a business in the past or come from a family of entrepreneurs?
My grandfather has an ice cream shop in Steveston and also had a stand in the night market previously.
Oh, okay. Nice. So that provided you a little bit of a background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of an in, so.
Are you guys working full-time as well or part-time somewhere?
I'm working part-time at the Marriott Hotel. So yeah, I try to balance that with this.
Okay.
Me and Kenito both quit to do this because we're not great at jobs. Not our thing. It's a tough go with jobs. It's just it's hard to find the incentive to work right now in like our climate. I'd rather take the risk and hop into something where we can be the master of how much we take home.
Nice. So, this market ends in about 4 months or so?
Yeah.
October. Yeah. October.
October.
So is the plan to continue since you quit your other jobs, is your plan to continue this in some way?
Offseason, I think we're going to try to book something here and there, but I think we're just going to rest up, probably work a bit, but I think we're just going to like kind of hunker down and try to see where we can scale for next year and just work on like where we can streamline stuff and make it as efficient as possible for next year.
Great. And just as a side tip, if you are finding that you're going to be needing to find those jobs again, if you can connect with one that is going to help you either with contacts or develop a skill set because you've got a great manager or coworkers to work with, then that could be part of your motivation for working for somebody else in the interim. So how much money did you need to start Poncho Tacos?
Well, the booth, the rent was like, yeah, the bulk of the cost. It was in the upwards between 20 and 30,000.
Okay,
And
is the bulk of that being the cost of the, like you said, the rent at the market?
yeah, the rental space, the utilities, the permits, like licensing, like all of that. And then plus, like, yeah, we had to put in more personal funds for like all the startup equipment,
Right.
and like transportation.
A lot of
So,
like
yeah.
Facebook Marketplace runs.
yeah.
We saved quite a bit of money though. Instead of just going buying everything brand new, we played it smart. Lots of bus rides though, like early mornings and
Right.
to never to go buy like
Like
little
an iPad. Go all the way to West Van for an iPad.
Yeah, to get like a credit card machine. Yeah, it was tough, but hey, like we found the ways just to like like strategize a little bit, so we're not like blowing all this money because when you spend money on equipment, it adds up like very quickly.
Oh yeah.
And then especially when you're like putting in personal funds, like, oh, we're gonna buy this, buy that. So like if we buy it like, hey, secondhand used, like it's probably better for us.
Sure.
And still works the same.
Yeah,
So,
especially when you get into commercial kitchen equipment, the price really goes up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we realized that pretty quickly.
Because you had to basically source and buy all that. You were starting from scratch, right?
Yeah.
Right. So who funded it?
We did.
All of us.
Really?
Yeah, all of us just put in personal funds.
Okay.
And then that's about 100% of the financials.
Good for you. Well, how did you decide who was going to do what, or did you just kind of fall into your roles?
Matt for sure we knew was going to be the cook. That was a given because he already had the experience, and then everyone else had their own kind of niche that they were good at. So Henry was already in school do accounting. Kenito's, he's been on social media. That guy kind of knows the ins and outs. I like money, so I.
Yeah.
You're the numbers guy.
Yeah.
Danny's been good on social media. He runs a couple like social media accounts for his job. So we kind of all just fell into place in terms of our roles.
Well, how did you decide on the menu, or was that, well, let me backtrack a little bit. How did you decide on tacos? Or is that, Matthew, is that your area of expertise?
That's not quite, but it quickly became like living in Richmond. We all grew up in Richmond, and then we all noticed that, like, first of all of us like loved eating tacos, like going out to eat tacos, but there weren't that many great taco shops in Richmond.
Wow.
So like we realized there's like a few here and there, but then we're like, hey, come on, we can do this like ourselves, do it much better. We always see it because Birria, it's like an Instagram, like social media food. You see it all over Instagram, and then it's like super trendy. So like, hey, why not? We can make that. So it's eye catching. So yeah.
Yeah. And then Kenito would come in with social media to get the word out, right?
Yeah. He would sort of do that, promote it. Yeah.
How are you getting word out?
How am I getting word out? Just kind of have like a bit of a strategy, posting 3 times a day, and trying to stay active on the Instagram.
And then we also got our website, ponchostacos.ca, which we get quite a bit of publicity on that too. And just mainly just like spreading the word just within our city, that's like talking to everyone. Like everyone we talk to now, they hear about us just because the main thing is we got on CTV News as well.
Right.
So like everyone saw the news clip and then everyone's like just talking about it and sharing. So that really helps.
Right. Yeah. And those listeners who aren't from the area or aren't from Canada, CTV News is a national network. So when a local crew shows up, that's kind of sweet. How did you connect with them?
That was Mikito.
Really?
The day before we opened, I was like, you know what? We want to make this work. We gotta get our name out here. So I emailed a bunch of people, like Global, CBC, CTV, Daily Hive, like a bunch of local kind of big networks. CTV got back to us pretty quickly. They came by that weekend, and it just all fell into place. It was great. It was awesome.
Very nice. And congratulations on taking the initiative to do that. That's so important. Because you're all, what, 18 years old?
18, yeah.
Yeah, just graduated.
Yeah. Well, how did you determine, I'm just going to switch to the number crunching a bit then. How did you determine basically your price point on the menu items, what you were going to sell everything for?
At first, we had like building up to the night market, like the grand opening. We had a few events, pop-up events like hockey tournaments, car shows, and all of that. So we pick and chose like different price points to see how they would sell. And then like we started off as like 15, 16 for like 3 tacos. But then when we got to the night market, we saw that, hey, like everything at the night market is a little bit more of a markup on it. So then we said, hey, let's just start off with 3 for $18. See how it goes. We'll track our numbers, see like how sales, like if they are increased or decreased, and then we'll just have to like adjust it from there. So far, it's been working out pretty well though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, are you sourcing ingredients from like Costco, or were you able to connect with wholesale suppliers at this point?
Yeah, we have wholesale suppliers now. Like, yeah, before we were going through like Costco and that, but then now like we're seeing the volume we have to bring in, so we have to like source it to like the wholesalers we see in restaurants. Nice. Yeah.
Well, have you had a chance to breathe, to actually look at the numbers to see if you're making a profit?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We look at that. Yeah. Every day, like after we see how much our like unit cost is, how much we're bringing in like nightly like revenue every day, and then we just calculate it. Yeah.
We've been pretty smart with it. We have our operational expenses all set up, our unit costs, everything we need to know to the cent, like if we're making money or if we're not profitable.
That's really impressive. Where did you guys learn to do all this?
It's like we knew it going in. It's just prior knowledge. So yeah.
Well, what's the biggest surprise you've had so far that you didn't count on?
Oh,
busy.
Yeah, the volume.
The volume we're bringing in each day. Yeah.
Yeah, because I heard you guys sold out on your first day.
Yeah. The first weekend, it was like we didn't know really how to plan it out, like because we didn't know how many people was gonna want our food. But quickly we realized, okay, hey, we gotta like bring in more, and then from there on out, like each week we're able to plan, like look at last week's and see how many we can like predict it. But then that just really caught us off guard, like the first week, because we sold it really quick, like an hour or two.
That's a great problem to have.
Yeah, we're not complaining about that problem, but like. Definitely missed out a bit on like the first grand opening weekend.
Okay. What does your schedule look like? Because, well, describe for us the number of nights or hours that the market is open, but when you're not there, what's going on?
Weekends. So we work Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday is like our weekend. Chill on Monday. And then Tuesday, usually we have some sort of something. Yesterday we had something booked, just some marketing stuff.
Today, or like a team meeting.
Yeah. Today we have this, and then we have to go prep later. And tomorrow we prep again, and then so it's pretty much we got Mondays off.
Right.
And kind of Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Well, what's been the biggest challenge so far in the business?
It's always a tough one.
It's like at the start, because it's like at the start of every like business, it's long hours like each day. So it's like mentally like draining. But then we all come together. We all know like, hey, we just put like our heads to it, because we were putting like the grand opening week, it was like we were working like nonstop for it. Yeah. And we just wanted a break, but we know we couldn't stop because we got like the next day coming. We got to like have all this ready for like certain deadlines. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. And like you said, you really didn't have any idea going into it how busy it was going to be. And there's always stuff that you just, as well thought out as things were for you guys by the sounds of it, there's always stuff that comes up that, we didn't think of, right? And you're scrambling. Yeah.
Last weekend, we bought double our previous week's inventory. We're only open one more day. Still sold out on Sunday really early. So I don't know what's going on.
That's great. Well, it sounds like it's just doing amazing now, but at the beginning, how confident were you that you could actually pull this off?
Pretty confident, I'd say.
Yeah, we were pretty confident. We knew that like going to the night market, there was going to be like, we knew how much traffic that place got, like a lot of customers, like no one from Kenito's like family stand like last year. But we just like, And plus the events we had prior to the night market, like the hockey tournament, we could sort of base it off of it, but like it was just way more than we expected.
Yeah.
Because we were kind of banking off like the fact that since we're young, we had the opportunity to like get on CTV, and we had like an idea of what our like market demo was looking for.
Yeah.
So we knew how to market to our age and like young like Gen Zers and whatnot. So we were really banking that like that would work out for us.
Yeah.
But yes, it did. So
That's smart. In my book, The Way Success Works, I interview a number of young adult success stories. And I remember this one guy, Cameron. I mean, his story started when he was about 10 years old. But when he was about your age, 17, 18, 19, he was really ramping up the media. And he knew even then, it's like, I got to milk this for all I can, because by the time I turn 30, it's not going to be a story anymore. Right?
Yeah.
So,
No, I
yeah,
feel that.
good for you for doing that.
that's what Kenito did with the CTV bit.
Yeah, why not? Because so many of us, I mean, myself included, love to see young entrepreneurs succeed.
Yeah, there's also part of the marketing is just marketing ourselves with it, with the tacos.
Yeah.
Yeah, marketing our story like behind it. So yeah.
So speaking of stories and things a little unique, at least I hadn't seen it before, describe the Anaconda for us.
I can do this.
Okay,
So
Matthew.
the Anaconda, leading up to like the idea that came behind it was actually from a video I saw on YouTube.
Okay.
It was actually like really cool. Like a 2.5 foot long burrito. It was like a challenge, and we needed a 5th menu item, like our last menu, because like the night market only allows you to sell 5 menu items. We had 4 going into it. We needed to send it in. I proposed to the guys, hey, why don't we do like a 2.5 foot long burrito? I saw this. I feel like it's very eye catching. It's crazy because night market, there's crazy food like everywhere.
Yeah.
So this could be our item. And then I quickly, after a few test kitchens, I learned how to make it. Wasn't too hard. And then, so yeah, it consists of 5 extra large tortillas, refried beans, Mexican rice, our birria meat, lettuce, tomato, and our cilantro lime crema.
Sweet.
So yeah, it's all good.
So you mentioned, so what are the other 4 menu items?
Well, we've got currently our traditional birria tacos.
Yep.
We've got a birria crunch wrap. So it's similar to like a Taco Bell crunch wrap, just with our twist on it. And we have birria ramen. And we have birria bites. We're looking for a quick menu change soon. Like we have a couple more menu items we want to test out. So
Nice.
like that's in the works for the future.
So when I was there recently, as I approached the booth, someone had just walked away with an Anaconda. I mean, this thing is like freaking huge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I asked the guy, I said, like, how many is that for? I'm thinking party. He's like, no, just the 2 of them.
Those guys, I remember those guys.
Yeah. It's usually like a group of 2 or like 4, like sometimes even like a group of 8 people we saw come in, try to take it down.
Yeah, because like you said, it's like 2.5 feet. So
Yeah.
I get up there and I figure, okay, like 1 taco is going to be enough. So that's all I order. I disappear, and it was so good.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
so I come back to get another one, and Anaconda guys come back, and they had just finished it and handed you $20. Was that a trip to the ATM or was that a tip?
I have no idea.
I think
No
that
clue.
was a tip.
Probably a tip.
Yeah, I think it was actually Danny on cash, now that I think of it. Would that sound reasonable?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds about right.
Because I'm thinking, wow, what a nice compliment
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
to get tips
Yeah,
like
we're very
that.
thankful for it.
No, I'm not just saying that. They are really good. Well, obviously, what's the best way for our listeners to connect with you?
Our Instagram.
Definitely message us on Instagram.
Okay, what's your Instagram?
At ponchos.tacos.
We also have our website. You can message us through at ponchostacos.ca.
Okay, perfect. I'll make sure those are in the show notes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Or our email, ponchostacosYVR@gmail.com. Those are the 3 best ways to contact us.
Ponchos.tacos on TikTok.
Excellent. It sounds like you've blown up on TikTok too.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the news clip definitely helped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in all that you've accomplished so far in the short time this has been happening, how long has it been? When did the market open?
Yeah, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, April 28th.
Well, so what's your best tip to inspire others to start or grow their side hustle?
Mine would be like definitely find like a group of guys that you really want to work with that like just blend well together. So that's like that worked well with us. We all bring something new to the table. We all share ideas. And then like you just want to like keep working with them, and like it's all going to work out, and like the team chemistry is just there. So yeah, that's the main one.
Nice.
We're talking side hustles. I'd say try everything. Don't overthink it. Just try it. If it doesn't work, move on to the next one. Especially if you're young, right? You might as well. You're taking no risk, right? Worst case, you come out as a normal 18-year-old,
No money.
20-year-old.
With no money. For sure. That experience is invaluable. How about you, Kenito?
I think if you want to succeed, you'd want to try and find a mentor from the field that you want to go into. Just really listen to them and take notes of everything they teach you.
Yeah, learn from their experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I also got one last one. If you're starting up a side hustle, you always should have like an end goal. Like picture yourself in, I don't know, 5 or 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you want to be? And then sort of map out it backwards where you can like chop it up into a bunch of steps, and like so you can keep on working towards your end goal. Because if you're just working without a goal, then you don't really like work as hard. You don't have the motivation.
Right.
But definitely like, yeah, have like something you want to accomplish.
That's smart too, because then you're making decisions based on that future vision as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on launching Poncho's Tacos and getting it off to such a successful start. And thank you for being today's Side Hustle Heroes.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
While having a group of founders launching a side hustle can obviously have its challenges, you're not always going to agree. But then again, that's actually a good thing. But the benefits of a collective skill set and ability to bounce ideas off one another and brainstorm is invaluable. Plus, you keep each other accountable, which leads me to the first of 5 main takeaways you can use to grow your side hustle, whether you're working alone or with a team. Number 1, set a deadline. If you've been thinking about starting a side hustle and you've been talking about it, but have not yet made a promise to yourself to launch on a set date, do it now. Set that deadline, whether that's for a brand new venture or to scale in some way. The crew of Poncho's Tacos are still working hard. They're at it 6 days a week. But it was pedal to the metal, do whatever it takes to be ready for the launch on opening day of the market. Delaying it a few days or a week was just not an option. That's the kind of hard deadline I'm suggesting you set. I talked about creating this podcast for quite a while before it actually happened. The turning point for me was setting the launch date. I gave myself 2 months. 2 months from the day I made that commitment, I launched Side Hustle Hero. When you make a decision that you're going to act, your mindset changes. You're stepping out of your comfort zone of just talking about it to actually committing to do it. Now, if you don't have the benefit of what a group or team brings, then seek out an accountability partner, someone who you trust, respect, and whose time you're not going to waste. And there's someone who you won't want to disappoint. Reach out to me if you're interested in catching more details of how to set up that accountability relationship to maximize the benefit for both of you. I can get you a PDF. With every major success I've had in business, there's been an accountability partner involved. For this podcast, for my best-selling book, for my storage facility, all of it. When you're wanting to launch something new, that requires that you do different things than you've done in the past. That means you've got to change some habits, and that's super tough to do on your own. Set your deadline and get an accountability partner who will help you stay on course. And Kenito mentioned the importance of mentors. They too play a very valuable and important role, but that'll be a topic for a future takeaway segment. Number 2, know your audience. These founders are all 18 years old, and that's who they wanted as their target audience. Plus, from my observation, that is the majority of the demographic at the Richmond market, so it makes total sense. What's a trendy food for Gen Z? Tacos! Consider who your audience is and how you're catering to them. The third success takeaway, get word out. Don't be a best-kept secret. The taco guys knew that they had to differentiate themselves. They did that in 2 smart ways. One was by coming up with a unique menu item, the Anaconda. It does kind of look like a snake. I'll post a photo on the website podcast page so you can take a look. So what's something that's a bit out of the ordinary or a unique way that you can position what you offer? The second thing they did to get word out was by contacting traditional media. Don't underestimate the power of a good old press release. A few episodes from now, I'll be sharing an interview with media expert Jess Todfeld that's full of tips and tricks to getting your message out. But in the meantime, the main thing to keep in mind when you're reaching out to media is that they don't really care about you, your product, or service. What they do care about is providing valuable content to their viewers or readers or listeners. When Mikito contacted the press, he pointed out that they were a team of 5 18-year-olds. That's a great hook. It set them apart from the other 109 food vendors and gave the news station a way to feature the opening of the market in a really captivating, fun, and unique way. Number 4, the value of small tests. Opening day at the market was not their first go at it. Instead, they set up pop-up taco stands at events that were of interest to them and ones where their target audience would be. This allowed them to tweak their procedures, test and adjust their pricing, and discover things that they just hadn't thought of. And the 5th and final success takeaway is, have your end goal in mind. I know this is not a new idea, but do you have an end goal in mind? Matt mentioned the importance of this. It's easy to be pulled in a million different ways when launching a new venture. So with your goal in mind, you can use that as a guiding light in decision-making. When an opportunity or idea presents itself, you can ask yourself, will acting on this lead you in the direction that you want to go, your goal, or detract from it? I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Well, that's a wrap for today. You'll find a link to Poncho's Tacos website and social media on our website, sidehustlehero.com. If you enjoyed this episode, let me know that you're listening and tell me how this podcast is helping you. You can tag me or send a DM on Instagram at Joan Posivy. Thanks for listening and hustle on.